You're watching Breakfast Television on City TV, making it easier for home buyers in Calgary to enter the market. That's the goal of a motion going before Council this week. Councillor George Chahal joining us this morning with details on the proposal to change mortgage stress tests. And George, what exactly do you want to tweak or see happen to kind of improve the situation?
Well, over the last year, we've seen significant challenges in our construction industry. The construction industry is the second largest employer in the city of Calgary. So we've seen a number of job losses, layoffs, and I believe there's more to come. What I'm asking for is, let's have an Alberta-made solution. We have different regional economies with different challenges across the country. Let's make the stress test policy regionally based, or let's eliminate it. We have stringent mortgage qualifying rules currently as it is, and I just think this is an additional burden on the dreams and aspirations of home buyers. The impact is significant. Because the construction industry, being such a large industry and a large employer, it affects working class Calgarians. And those job losses impact the ability of a drywaller or a bricklayer or a painter to put food on their table for their families. So I'm really concerned.
So if I understand you correctly, you want to change the mortgage stress test situation, the rules, because the market, say, in Toronto or Vancouver is much different than the Calgary market, right?
Correct. Yeah, I mean, this was brought in because of Toronto and Vancouver's overheated real estate markets. It's been a broad brush approach across the nation. So we need a regional-based policy that makes sense for different regions across the country. We've been in a recession here in Calgary over the last number of years, and this is just adding on for Calgarians to be able to find work and work in our economy.
The stress test, though, was it not put in place to stop people from taking on too much debt, like mortgage debt in particular?
Well, I think what the banks have stringent mortgage qualification rules. I mean, the federal government rolled back amortizations to 25 years with those tough rules. If you have a high debt currently, you're not going to get a mortgage. I think that's one thing to consider. This really impacts folks who are renting, who have a big, might have a down payment and looking to buy a home. I mean, that's where it really takes out of the marketplace. So if we're really concerned about household debt, we should focus on predatory lending practices. I think that's a bigger concern. Why people get into debt in many cases is those high interest rate credit cards or those high interest rate car loans that they have a hard time getting out of that cycle. I believe, through my past experiences, I used to be in banking and in construction, that the dream and aspirations of many is to own a home. And over the long term, they see that as a savings mechanism and an opportunity to build equity, but also have a place for their family to put some roots down in a community. And I think it's really important that if this policy is required, it should be based on a regional basis. The Alberta government, with the credit unions like ATB or First Calgary, actually does not have to follow the stress test rules, and they have been. So I think we need a made-in-Alberta solution to this issue. And I think if we work together with industry and the government, and I think we can find a solution that's in the best interest of Calgarians.
Speaking of Calgarians, how can one municipality cause change?
Well, I think that's my role as a councillor, to advocate to our MLAs and MPs that this is an issue. I see it on the ground. My residents, businesses in my ward are concerned. I mean, businesses throughout the city. And people looking to purchase a home are concerned. So I think it's advocacy. We have a number of advocacy tools we have at the city through the Federation of Canadian Municipalities and the Alberta Urban Municipalities Association, where we can bring resolutions forward. But it really does start at the grassroots. It starts from these one-on-one conversations and more people in the community advocating for this. So contact your councillors, contact your MLAs, contact your MPs, and let them know this is an issue in our economy here in Calgary, which may be different in other cities across Canada.
All right, Councillor George Chahal, thank you so much for this. This going before Council this week, and we'll have to see kind of what transpires after that.